This is Journalist Hangouts. The bubble has burst for the All Progressive Congress, APC, in Taraba State, despite several warnings to put its house in order. The Federal High Court, sitting in Jalingo, Taraba capital, has nullified the governorship primary election that produced Senator Emmanuel Bwacha as the All Progressive Congress candidate for the 2023 elections. The presiding judge, Justice Simon Amobeda, nullified the exercise and ordered Senator Bwacha to stop parading himself as the APC governorship candidate in the states. Let's share the story, filed by TVC News Owolabi Adenusi with you.
This may not be the best of time for the All Progressive Congress in Taraba State. The Federal High Court in Jalingo has faulted the process that ushered in its gubernatorial candidate. The fallout of the gubernatorial primaries forced David Sambo Kente to approach the court, having exhausted the party mechanism to address the grievances. The contention was that there was no primary election in the state. In his judgment, the High Court judge, Justice Simon Amobeda, urged Bwacha to desist from parading himself as the party gubernatorial candidate. He also directed the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to, as a matter of urgency, withdraw the certificate of return earlier issued out to Senator Bwacha and to as well cease from recognizing him as a party gubernatorial candidate. He directed the party to go ahead and conduct fresh governorship primaries in the state within 14 days from the day of the judgment. The judge emphasized that the 2022 Electoral Act must be strictly adhered to in the fresh primaries. The judge went ahead to stress that the evidence presented before him indicated that there was no APC governorship primary in the state, said there was no evidence to show that due process was followed. The defendant, as made known by him, could not ensure that there was a primary election in the state, stating that one handwriting appeared in more than one of the result sheets. The judge ruled that the nomination of the party candidate in the said primary was not valid and ordered the party to provide a level playing ground for all the aspirants that will be jostling for the governorship ticket of the party. The coordinator of David Kante gubernatorial campaign organizer commended the judiciary for the judgment.
Today's judgment, in real sense, has conveyed a big message, not only to Tarabans, but to the nation. One of the attributes of Almighty God is Adal, and that is justice. God alone stands for justice. That is why he is.
The counsel to APC and the party candidate, Festus Kaide Idepefo and Ibrahim Effiong, says they will reach out to their principals before deciding the next action to be taken.
What His Lordship did was to just give a highlight of the judgment. I have not been able to see the full import of the judgment.
Now, I will tell you, it is just a stage. We have about 3 stages. Federal High Court, the Court of Appeal, and the Supreme Court.
The event watchers are looking out for the next step APC will take before the expiration of the 14-day window given by the court.
Yes, the exact season, we witnessed this same scenario in 2019, where party refused to stick to the dictates of internal democracy and able to conduct free, fair primary election. So aggrieved party will have to go to court and look at how many days to the general election, look at what we're witnessing.
Yes, it's just a little less than 5 months to the election. Yeah. The party has found itself in this kind of mess. Remember what happened in Anambra. I always point to what happened in Anambra, where they organized a charade of party of primaries and allocated hefty votes.
200 and something thousand votes.
At the end of the day, the court ruled that no primary election took place. There was a lot of noise in the dailies that the primary election in Anambra for the APC did not follow due process. But those noises were drowned by those who will say, these are bad losers and all that. But despite the fact that Andy Uba came third, in the primary election.
Okay.
Despite the fact he came third, he was well beaten in the primary election. He was well beaten in the governorship election.
Roundly beaten.
The Supreme Court still ruled
Went ahead that he was
not a candidate.
Ab initio.
Which means that if the APC had won that election, the way Soludo won, they would have declared that victory a nullity.
Yeah.
So the person who came second will have become
Inherited.
the governor. So parties need to stop this greed. Party leaders need to stop this greed for acquiring power needlessly. Because what you see is an individual will see himself as the leader of the party and want to insist that it is the person that he wants that must win the primary election. Remember the warning that President Buhari gave, that let us allow the system to produce the best. That we have lost elections in the past because we did not allow popular candidates to win.
Yeah.
We impose candidates. At the end of the day, the person cheated will leave the party, go to another party, and he will defeat his own party. Did we not see it in several states in 2019? This is the kind of scenario. If you even wanted to tamper with the process, you need to do it in a manner that will not be apparent. If they are seeing through the same signature in different results, it means that you just wrote figures. So, and if you had the privilege of facing the judge and you cannot defend the primaries before the judge, if you cannot prove that you followed the provisions of the Electoral Act and even the INEC guidelines, then whatever judgment the court comes up with, you have to abide by it.
In Taraba State, for some time now, it has been a PDP state, and for this to happen, it's like a big setback for the quest of APC to make a good showing ahead of next year's governorship election.
It's even a little bit unfortunate that what is today's date? In how many days' time now? INEC is supposed to release names of approved candidates for election. And now, how many days to it? You have this. So, now, internal democracy. You see, the parties come and talk about democracy, this one is the... But even internally, they have that problem. It is not the problem of APC alone. It is not the problem of PDP alone. In fact, almost all the parties. But we are concerned now because they are the leading parties are the ones that are having that problem. The moment you don't allow internal democracy to prevail, this is the kind of thing that is going to be happening. A candidate that, look, there is nothing wrong in the party leadership having an interest in a candidate. But you must allow that mechanism of the party to be obeyed. Not openly that you will now throw your weight against, behind a particular candidate and try to ramrod that down the throat of every member of the party. If care is not taken, anyway, Taraba is controlled by PDP now, and
but APC is supposed to be strong there now.
It's supposed to be strong, but if care is not taken, this is going to be a big problem for them, because I mean, if you can, as an opposition party, you cannot put your house in order.
And you know, the same judge delivered a judgment that favors the PDP. The same judge, the same High Court judge. So the PDP had a petition before the judge, but the judge dismissed that one. So it's already advantage PDP now.
Yeah.
You are in a contest against a party that has always won election in that place. You have to put your house in order. You to defeat the incumbent, you have to put your house in order.
Formidable.
Yes,
very well.
it's not a time for. It's not a time for
you to
squabbles
begin to
like this, because if you want to win, and you can't put your house in order, how do you then defeat a formidable party that has been ruling the state all this year? So they have not covered themselves in glory by allowing this sort of thing to happen. Senator Bwacha left the PDP to join the APC. And many people felt that, look, with his coming, that it could mean that this time around, the APC will win. You know, especially since he's a Christian as well. You know, but with the kind of
internal wrangling
that we have, I know this thing has been on. The person who took them to court is not the only person beat out. There are other people who are also complaining about that particular problem. But this was the person who decided to go to court. Already, chances are that those other aggrieved people will work against the candidate of the party.
They will.
Now,
and then this one now.